Let's call the meeting of the Legal and Legislative Committee in order for February 24, 2023. We have a full agenda. We have some very good reports that we could share, and then we're going to go over our rules and procedures. It's been pre-edited for you all to look at. Let's make sure that this is what we want to do, adjusting our rules and regulations. I'd like to welcome our committee members that are here. Commissioner Louis Offord, Mylan Blake, Cindy Slater, our mayor is with us, and we appreciate you being here today. A lot to work through, so let's go ahead and move forward. We have the minutes that don't seem too far away. I think we've been able to review those pretty quickly.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion we accept the minutes as presented.
Moved by Commissioner Blake to approve minutes. Any second? Second by Commissioner Offord. We'll call the roll. We don't need to call the roll. All those in favor?
Aye.
Say aye. Aye. All those no? Carried. Okay, let's look at the agenda items. The legislative delegation. We'll look at overspending of budget. This is what we submitted to the county commission. It was approved by the full county commission on Tuesday and submitted to our delegation. I think at the last meeting you got a copy of that letter, right? Was sent. Was to be an attachment to that letter. I thought yeah. We'll have that letter. It was sent to all the delegation at this point under the heading of Commissioner Howell. So it was approved by the commission on Tuesday, submitted to our delegation. I did have a conversation with Representative Howell and told him that letter was on the way, and we'll get some response from them, I'm sure. The number 2 in legislative delegation is any discussion on that. I think we're pleased that that's been moving. I think we'll be waiting for information on that letter. I think I've got it in my packet. Item B is the DUI reserve policy. It was approved by the commission on Tuesday, and it's now in effect. The policy, as you remember, allocates the first $10,000 of the DUI reserve fund for indigent monitoring, for the monitors on ankle monitors, where appropriate, and fairly equally split among the remaining funds between the misdemeanor probation department and the adult drug court. I think that's a milestone and a good movement. Any comments? Not, I'll move through. The accessibility of Finance Committee agenda packets. Ms. Moldry has done some work on this regarding the cost if we move to a movement to the website. It'd be $262 to add another page to the website to host Finance Committee agenda packets. Understand that there may be discussion a little later on the website with a new company in the next fiscal year. Until we decide how or if to make these packets available, Ms. Moultrie is emailing the packets to residents that request this to be added. So that's very much a positive move to share with those that would like to have the Finance Committee agenda packets on a timely basis. I think that's a quality achievement. We'll find out a little bit more when we know what the website will be. Correct?
I have a question.
Yes.
So is that a formal process, Lori, or do they just call you and you add them, or what does that process look like? Okay. Okay. Thank you.
As we all know, that's a voluminous bit of information that's sent out. It takes a lot to get done, and I appreciate Ms. Moultrie for taking that on. Commissioner Alford.
What was that monetary amount of money? We're talking about $200 and something dollars?
$262.
$262. Right. As of right now, we're spending $262 for one person.
Well, no.
You said one person has requested.
To add a new page to our website to
Right.
include the packets, and we have not yet done that. As I understand, our IT department is considering a switch in the next fiscal year, possibly redesigning the website. So I don't know if we would want to spend the $262 at this time or wait until after the web pages, a decision is made on our website.
Right.
In the meantime, we're not expending any county dollars by me just adding them to a distribution email list.
Do we have any idea when this switch or might take place?
At this point, it looks like it'll be before the budget starts because we don't want to be on the hook for another year if we make a change. So if we do, there won't be any additional cost to create a separate page to have that available on the website, on the new website. So for what it's worth, my opinion would be to wait and make sure that we are not going to make this change because it looks pretty likely that we are.
And we do not have to make a change. We don't have to deal with the dollar and cents at this point, correct? We're not, it's basically being moved through your office. And
Correct.
well
Correct.
done
We're
there.
accommodating the request at no cost to the county.
Great. Further questions?
Well, I'd like to make a motion then that we just wait. And like Miss Lori said, if somebody wants that copy, they can ask her and she can send it out by email.
Okay.
But I don't see any reason
Right.
spending the money right now until we get something settled.
And-
So I'd like to make a motion that we just wait
Yeah.
and let Miss Lori answer individually.
Right.
Send emails to anybody that wants something.
Super. Is there a second? Been moved? Okay, it's been moved and seconded by Commissioner Alford and Commissioner Blake. Further discussion? This would be just basically formalizing, continuing what you're doing. Very good.
Right.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Or we're supposed to say yes and no. Okay. Item D, the HCI Committee procedures. As to your bidding, I think this was what you would like to have had done from the meeting past. An informal email was submitted to the HCI chair to, in the future, use the letter of intent to determine whether or not a project meets the criteria of the county HCI grant. So we have had that sent to their chairman, and hopefully that will be in place. If not, we'll be a little more stringent with that. Any other discussion regarding HCI committee?
Yeah,
Commissioner
Mr. Chairman,
Blake.
on that, Lori, I think it would be good, I would like you to just consider it, because you amend that. So when that process takes place, when the first round, and you're basically deciding if it meets the guidelines, and you're either going to accept it or quote unquote reject it, those that are getting, well, how about both? Those that are accepted, forward that to the full commission, and those that are rejected as well, so that we just, FYI for us, we're not in the decision making, but we're in the loop on who just got accepted and who just got rejected. Just to keep it on there. That's all I got.
And would that be submitted to you as finance chair? That we're, or full committee? Okay, great. Great.
You know, why, more on the why people got rejected, but it's probably good to know who got accepted as well.
So that could just be a routine procedure that you will be putting. Very good. So any other concerns, questions on HCI? Resolution of fiscal note approved by the commission on Tuesday. We'll need to hammer out the way that's going to be done. As you remember, for any resolution requiring funds would have a note attached to it that will show the fiscal expense. And that has been approved by the commission on Tuesday. I think we have a copy in your packet. Do we have a copy in this packet? Yeah, on the back, you look, it's basically a template that can be used if you would choose to edit it at a point in time to recommend that the fiscal note be replaced. Has been approved by the commission to start this to be done. So I guess we would be, since we generated this, we could move this further. Yes, ma'am.
In the rules of procedure,
Yeah.
we added item 6B, fiscal note,
Okay.
and it basically is
6B.
consists of what the motion was regarding the fiscal note, which says all resolutions presented to the county commission must include a fiscal note.
Right.
unless such resolution is regarding the use of American Rescue Plan Act funds.
Right.
And then Commissioner Blake and I have been working on just a draft of what the fiscal note attachment might look like. And so I just wanted to provide this to all of you for your suggestions and how we can make this work better for our departments.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Mr. Blake, further on this?
Yeah.
What is your pleasure on this? Do we want to take a look at this a little while longer until we have a,
Well, it's already passed the commission as far as the requirement on it. I would just say that, and
about the form?
Mayor, you probably have some opinions on this as well, because we put everything we thought would be pertinent to what you're trying to accomplish with the physical note, you know, the fund, the account line, and stuff like that. And if you want to add some comments and stuff like that, it's augmented information to the resolution, but it's attached to the resolution, so that if you're like me, you take this and then you can go reconcile against the budget, stuff like that. Makes it a lot easier.
So will we have any future resolutions quickly that will require this note? We anticipate any of that within the next,
I don't know.
for us to review this?
I don't have any future resolutions on the, but
There aren't any on the agenda, the work session agenda.
There are not.
Coming up, so certainly I'm sure that there will be, but there's not any.
and there's probably going to be some resolutions that it doesn't apply, so you can just put NA 00 whatever in there. That's what they do in Nashville.
Mr. Mayor, do you have some input on this? Okay.
Most of ours, if they abide by your rules, most of them's gonna be NA anyway, because your rules say that not to propose something that's not budgeted or whatever, so.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't go by that rule, then this will tell you what it's gonna cost you.
Okay. But this is saying for every resolution, doesn't it? Every resolution requiring dollars would have this attached, correct? Okay. If, do we need to move forward with this to approve this as an addition?
What you have currently approved is just the requirement that there be a fiscal note.
Okay.
If you don't do anything on this, the status would be that fiscal note could look however it may look.
Okay.
So
Well,
if you,
We don't want 15 different flavors of it.
The chair is now open for motion.
So, she wanted to,
sorry.
Commissioner Slater was.
Sorry, Commissioner Slater, sorry. Did you have a question? My bad.
Mr. Chairman, so this Bradley County fiscal note, as this is right now, make a motion that we adopt it as the current use, is that the right word? Form, that needs to be used and attached, and I put that in form of motion.
So move any second? Commissioner Alford after Commissioner Blake.
With that, with being in mind that it's a work in progress, we'll get it started on this one. If we need to edit it, then we can come back.
Could be amended. Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Item 5, let's go to item F, all the rules and procedures. First of all, we've had a subcommittee working on this that are seated at the table over here. They're the attorney and our administrative assistant with me sat down for about an hour and a half, 2 hours to go through each of these. What you will see in your packet is the items that are lined out or what's taken out. And of course, this is for your approval, your review. The items lined are taken out. The items flared are what we're adding. So we can take this. I'll move through this as quickly as we can. The Rule 1 is basically calling, we are not the Board of Commissioners, we are the County Commission. So that's basically a clerical item there. I'm going to run through it. Any question you have, let me know. The quorum, we're basically County Commissioners again in there rather than the Board of Commissioners. We're going through the quorum, no other items there. Let's go to the Rule 3, Order of Business. We are basically changed, we continue the prayer This is for our general meetings. We did not have prayer today. Followed by we'll have the pledge taken out there, but the pledge will be a new prayer will be done and the pledge for 3. This is for our general meeting. We have number 5. We've taken the invocation and reading and approval of minutes. From 5, we just have the approval on 5. 6 is the report of the county mayor. 7 is the consent agenda. 8 is the reports from and/or districts. 9 is unfinished business. 10 is approval of the agenda. And taking the report, we do not have a county executive. 11 is the agenda item. 12 is communication for the audience. 13 announcements. 14 adjourn. We good on that? Any questions? Okay, Rule 4, general. All we're taking out of this general rule is the board is now the county commission. The board is commission. The board is county commission, rather than board of commissioners. Same thing through the non-commission members may address and how that's done. We just have taken board of commissioners off. 4C is the same, clerical. 4E, points of order. It's basically looking at the same with the county commission rather than the board. Appeal on ruling, county commission, and continue county commission there. We'll move to 4H. Rest of those are in place. 4H is the same, taking county commission, taking the board out, taking a board of commissioner out for 4I. Motions have no corrections. Resolutions, you can see the resolutions there. 6A is county commission or county mayor. A proposed resolution may be introduced only.
Chairman Winters,
Yes,
may we
ma'am.
go back to Rule 5 motions, please?
Sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Actually, 5B is proposed to be removed.
Okay, motion, thank you. Motions in writing. We've taken this out altogether because they're, as you know, none of our motions are audibly presented and are accepted by the county clerk, and she records that. So that we're taking out, thank you for that acknowledgement. When a motion is made and seconded, it shall be reduced to writing by the clerk and read by the chairperson. We have cut through that for years. We've never put it in writing from the county clerk. Thanks for reminding me of that one. The resolution in 6 for resolutions. This is all clerical except for the fiscal note. All resolutions presented in the county commission must include a fiscal note unless such resolutions, well, we've replaced that now with our actions today as we move forward, correct?
Yes, 6B was added for the new fiscal note policy, but then also on 6A, let's back
Yeah,
up to
sure.
it just briefly.
Sure.
There is a change there, a material change. Any proposed resolution may be introduced only by a member of the county commission or county mayor, and the clerk or chairperson shall not receive or file any resolution that is not reduced to writing and signed by at least 2 members of the Board of County Commission. Certainly, we only have one county commissioner sign our resolutions, and that's the chairperson. Therefore, we have proposed to eliminate and signed by at least 2 members of the Board of the County Commission.
Thank you. Any discussion on any of these? We'll move forward. Elections and appointments. 7B, board of committee. Now we're obviously the committee appointments. We will require confirmation by a majority vote of the commission. All board appointments may be made by individual districts. Require affirmation by a majority of the county commission. We move through. There's no corrections at the beginning of rules. Rule 8, committee membership. We do have clerical movement on the ad hoc committee as such, but the commission chairperson, the commission names the chairperson and then places the number on ad hoc committees based on individual commission members' expertise. So the commission chairperson names the chairperson of ad hoc committees, is what we're saying there, correct? Any discussion? This is pretty much what we discussed. The resignation from an ad hoc committee, this is all new. Any member who wishes to resign from an ad hoc committee should inform the commission chairperson in writing. Chairperson then appoints another member to fill the committee at his or her discretion.
Bill?
Yes, sir. Commissioner.
All right.
Commissioner Blake.
Thank you. Lori, as it is now, an ad hoc committee doesn't really have an expiration date, right? In effect, right? So it's, once it's started, it can go on forever, right? I just want to make sure I'm right on that.
That's correct, and I know that Chairman Winters had planned to provide this to you all or to note it. It's actually before you a listing of our open ad hoc committee meetings. So yes, there's a number of them that did not sunset or were not dissolved.
All right, so I'm not going to go through the whole list here, but you'll notice that we've got a noise ordinance ad hoc committee that goes all the way back to 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not today, but here soon, I think that these need to be formally dissolved.
2009.
Yeah, I don't want to waste our time on it, but the broadband initiative needs to stay.
Why don't,
Yeah, I can't go through septic.
Yeah.
But I would say that, here's 2009. Anything that's over 10 years old automatically gets dissolved, I would say, but maybe, I don't know.
Mr. Slater.
We also need to add the ad hoc population study committee on here. That's in effect.
Yeah, that's
Population
yours.
study, yeah.
But when this,
What is,
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
but when we create going forward, not anything that's already existing, but going forward, if an ad hoc committee is created and all that, I would say it needs to have a 1 year from the time of establishment.
yeah,
And if it needs to go further, that needs to be brought to the commission to continue it. But as part of creating an ad hoc committee, it's understood at the time that the ad hoc committee is created that it has a 1 year expiration date. That way you don't have 2006 ad hoc committee still on the books, so to speak.
That's a great point. We have one committee that's on here that was established to determine the cost of Lake Forest Middle School building project, 2013.
Yeah,
That's
so
an ad hoc committee somewhere out there that we have not disbanded. I think we have, we can ask in other business here just to go ahead and look at this if we want to
However you want to do it.
as a committee. And that's it. Let's finish this, and then we might go back to this in other business at the end. Thing over there.
Well, we were
Sorry.
just talking about one possibility of a way to do it would be to actually add it in the section about ad hoc committees to the extent you wanted to place that on there, that
Okay.
the ad hoc committees would be
Add
in
it on there.
existence for no
Okay.
more than a year
Okay.
unless they were re-upped by the county commission. We could actually add that to the rules.
So that would be just another statement to that effect. Okay. Would you like to make that a motion if we, sure, let's do it. This is
Mr.
what
Chairman, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that any ad hoc committee created from this point forward has a 1 year expiration date unless it is re-upped by the full commission. How's that?
been moved, and is there a second motion? Seconded by Commissioner Alford. Blake submitted that. It's discussion. I think it's something we should have done quite a while ago.
Coulda,
It's a
yeah.
very good move. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Approved. Okay, and resignation, I guess, yeah, I guess that would be automatic, starting to move ad hoc committees. We're still in Rule 8, looking at the last, on page 6 now, nothing on that, Rule 8. Rule 9, appropriation requests, you'll see 9B, All requests of appropriations falling in the area shall be summarized and submitted that is being taken out. That entire 9B is being taken out. That they be summarized and submitted in writing for any appropriations request, which I don't think we have utilized. You have a question? 9B?
Let's, if we could, let's also back up to
Where?
Rule 8 and just note
Okay.
that resignation from an external committee, that's
Yes.
new language added to the rules of
Yeah, thank you.
procedure.
Let's go over it. Resignation from an external committee. Any member who wishes to resign from an external committee shall inform the commission chairperson in writing. Chairperson shall proceed with filing the vacancy based upon the appointment method of the committee. Thank you, Ms. Moultrie, for that. Appropriation requests. You see those that are lined out. 9B is taken out altogether. 9A, the request shall be submitted to the appropriate committee of the board of the county commission and shall reflect the estimated cost. We're not attaching that to a resolution. We have it has to be in writing. That would mean every request that we made has to be in that. 9, any question? 9B, we're taking out all of 9B. Of summarizing and submitting in writing to members at least 7 days prior to a regular or called meeting of a request. 9C, back to the county commission rather than a board of commissioners. That's basically a clerical items. 9D is the same rather than that board. Rule 10, nothing on suspending on the rules. We'll keep it as it is. The chairperson. Annually, it's the first meeting in September. County Commission, we're changing to that. We're moving from chairperson pro tem to vice chairperson. I like vice chairman and vice chair lady myself, rather than chairperson. For me, I like that better than a chairperson. The chairperson may be one of the memberships of the county commission and the county mayor. May be one of the membership of the county commission or the county mayor. If the county commission elects as its chairperson, county mayor, as he or she accepts the position, the county mayor shall relinquish his veto power. I think we're also saying voting power. Voted in the next item, 12B, is if we were to elect mayor as chairperson, we're saying he or she gives up the voting power if elected chairperson. Call to order, county commission as well. We're moving from board of commissioners to county commissioner. 12D is the same, except vice chairperson. Some call it vice chair. But that would still lay in there. Pro tem is taken off, back to the clerical as well. Preserve order, clerical, clarification. We've taken out everything, but a member may ask for clarification of any vote until the vote is announced. This has as you have read, shall rise or state to put a question and shall clearly state the question before the board, before the county commission before a vote. A member may ask for clarification. This statement summarizes all of that. A member may ask for clarification of any vote prior to the announcement. Any question on that? Okay, 12 I, agenda, clerical. 12J is clerical. Clerk, clerical the same with the board and county commission. 13C is the same with the Board of Commissioners is what we're taking out of all of this. We've never been, to my knowledge, called a Board of Commissioners. County Attorney, same thing, clerical. The committees? I'm sorry. Where?
Give his or her legal opinion on any subject where such guidance is requested by the chairperson, but any member of the commission can request guidance from the county attorney.
And I
But
think,
this says just the chairperson.
To is actually talking about during meetings,
Yeah.
where the chairperson is supposed to recognize me. I do agree with you, though, as a practical matter, the way we conduct business, I think every commissioner does normally. If they
Yeah.
have a question, address
Well,
that to me. So that,
and this would keep the questions coming here rather than continue to come to you as the attorney. We thought that's why this is done, is move it to chairperson. So I get what you're saying, but yeah, if you're in the commission, county commission, you ought to go through this is saying you ought to go through the
I know, that's
chairperson.
what I'm saying. We need to add any member of the commission.
Go
on
straight to the attorney.
Right now, is it just being legalistic?
Yeah.
Only the chair can ask for guidance. What I'm
But you-
saying is all 14 of us and the mayor can ask for guidance. So
We can do that as a committee if you want
I
to.
mean, that's my opinion. If you guys don't
Yeah.
want to do this,
Well, I think every major movement of resolution or decision, you get recognition of the chair, and then the chair then would ask the attorney to share with you, and then you have every opportunity to opine from the chair, from the legal expertise. I think the idea of this is just to keep it from being a 13-member question and answer period that isn't going through a chair. What my position would be on that if you want to go through need legal advice, you get legal advice. We always have done that. And typically, there have been some who've just asked our legal assistant here to make all the decisions for us on some of that. But it's fine with me if a committee, we think we ought to do that.
do you need a motion to add that language to the rule?
I think you do.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to add any member of the county commission can ask for guidance from the county attorney during the meeting.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that any member can ask the attorney in the middle. I'm sorry.
First of all,
Restating that.
whomever is going to ask that, you need to add maybe one word. You got to get permission from the chairman, or you got to get recognized
You have
by
to
the
be
chairman
recognized, of
first.
course.
Okay. Well,
Then
that's
you
my
can ask your
point.
question.
That's only my point. Yeah. So your second is that's a part of it, right?
Yes.
That's inherent.
Okay. So you want to read that back, what we've just said? Please?
Well, we are.
Okay.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. That was Rule 15. Rule 16, committees. That's totally taken out because all committees standing and temporary shall meet and elect with its membership a chairperson. The election of secretary shall be optional in absence of the board of commission, rather board county commission. What is happening in our committees? It's named by the chairperson. The chairperson appoints a chair to the various committees, so that's taken out. 16A is clerical. 16B is clerical. Yes, right ahead.
16A, standing committee chairpersons shall report to and confer with the chairperson on all pertinent matters to be presented at the next meeting of the county commission. So do I read that to understand that if I'm going to make I'm chair of education, and I plan to make a report after the education committee met, then I'm to clear that with the chair before I make my report?
I think what's been basically the practice is when you have a report to make, you give the subject and present that to the chair. Am I correct? Ms. Moultrie, am I correct that when the committee chair has a presentation to make, typically the chair knows what that's about? I think that's what this is alluding to. Although it has to be.
I think practically speaking, yes, our county commission chairperson typically attends most committee meetings with the exception of today. And all committee chair, internal standing committee chairpersons are tasked with the responsibility of reporting at the next commission meeting, and if they're unable to do so, have one of their committee members actually
Right.
make the committee report on their behalf.
Matters apparent to warrant legal, that's 16B is legal matters, 16A is
So
report.
I'm sorry, but my
Go-
question wasn't
yeah.
answered. So the way I interpret that, it says standing committee chairpersons shall report to and confer with the chairperson on all pertinent matters to be presented at the next meeting. So when I have an education committee, am I expected to meet with the chairman of the commission before the next county commission meeting to tell him what I plan to report on? Him or her, what I plan to
I
report on?
think that's been the expectation.
Because
of the
that's
committee chair.
not what we're doing. None of us are doing that, I don't believe.
Well,
I mean, he sees the minutes, and to Ms. Moultrie's point, he comes to most of the meetings.
he's also building the agenda. So if he's building the agenda, on the agenda,
But I
he
think
needs to
he's
know,
getting that
or she needs to
information
know.
from Ms. Moultrie because she has the meeting agendas and what took place, the notes from those other meetings.
So,
Is that a fair statement?
so if you're presenting that for you to present to us, then that can be presented to the chairman through, you could amend this to the chairperson and or his assistant would know that, or our administrative assistant. I think that if the chairperson is building the agenda and putting together the items, it's generally, I don't know of any committee that I haven't let the chairperson know what was going to be presented at that meeting. Yeah, Commissioner Alford.
Could we just not say, confer with the chairperson when possible for the meeting? Something like that,
You could say we can say whatever you want to say, yeah.
when it's pertinent.
Sure. What
That
would be,
would kinda,
Verification, because I don't think any of us meet with the chairperson. I think Ms. Moultrie does more so because she's the one putting the agenda together with direction from the chairman of the commission.
Right.
So I just don't
So
want
that-
someone to come back and say, you didn't meet with the chairperson. If we're gonna be black and white about everything, that you didn't meet with the chairperson, therefore it can't be on the
Right.
agenda.
right. You want to add your item to that?
well, I just
Commissioner
wanted to
Alford.
throw it out there to
Yeah.
see if that would be, whenever possible. You know, that kinda leaves a little play in there, I think.
Yes.
What do you think, Miss Sidney?
Well, I was just gonna say, we have to be careful about the way we word that as well, because you don't wanna violate the sunshine law, cause certainly the chairman of the education committee, for example, can't confer with the chairman about something that's gonna be voted on in substance, so I think we need to be careful about the way we say it as well, so that we don't run afoul of that.
Okay.
Well, to me, 16A is in violation of a sunshine law. Pardon?
So you should not contact the chairman about what's going to be on a chair's agenda?
Well, I think you certainly could discuss things to be placed on the agenda, because as you said, the chairman is responsible for creating the agenda. I just think
Or chair lady?
we have to be careful about our wording, though, because of the fact that it can't be a meeting or a discussion about agenda topics. So,
To be notified of it, it's going to be on the agenda is what you're saying, pretty much. Notification and, that's basically what you're adding into this, Commissioner Alford, is that there be a statement here that is notified, the chair is notified of what's going to be on the agenda.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
And the conferring part, I think what Cindy's saying is already been done because the chairman gets the minutes of that meeting. So he or she reads the minutes of that meeting, so then they know what's going to the commission.
Okay.
Same way I know what's going to the commission.
I'm s-
So why do they need to confer if they've already gotten a copy of the minutes?
just strike from
Okay.
to and confer with, so it would read, standing committee chairperson shall report on all pertinent matters to be presented at the next meeting of the county commission.
Right, because there's already a rule that if a committee takes a vote, then the chairman has to bring it to the full
That's
commission.
correct, and I think this rule probably predated where we changed the other rule to make that, so that, I don't think, before we didn't have a requirement that the chairperson of the committees go ahead and bring it, so there probably was a need to tell the chairman when you wanted to put it on the agenda.
Ms. Moultrie,
If I remember when we created that rule, it has to be at the next voting session. You can't wait like day here in February, whatever today is, 24. You can't wait 5 months to bring something to the full commission. It has to be at the next voting session.
can you read that back to us, Ms. Moultrie? Yep.
Standing committee chairperson shall report all pertinent matters to the county commission at the next session of the county commission.
Okay.
Well, you just
Or
leave.
the next,
Yeah, you
I'm
just took
sorry,
out
wait,
two.
hang on.
It would say, standing committee chairperson shall report on all pertinent matters to be presented at the next meeting
God.
of the
Somebody's
county
trying to-
commission.
Okay.
Somebody's trying to drive off with it.
Yes,
Is that your truck?
okay.
Oh, pardon? Commissioner Alford thought it was his truck.
I was sitting on my keys, I was afraid I might have mashed the button.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to edit.
No motion.
Oh, I thought no motion necessary?
We don't have one, no one's made a
Oh,
motion.
You need a motion to.
yeah, I thought. Okay, it's moved by Commissioner Blake to strike that section 2 and confer with chairperson out. And it would say, as you have read it, standing committee chairperson shall report all pertinent matters to be presented at the next meeting of the county commission. It's all out. You want 16A off altogether? Okay. This was taking off all of 16A. You got that?
Well, we're gonna, I'm sorry.
No, the way I understood it is 16A would be amended to remove the part about to confer with the chairperson.
Okay,
So as
okay.
what I understood, or the way we have it,
Okay.
is 16A would be amended to read,
Standing.
standing committee persons shall report on all pertinent matters, so striking the language to and confer with the chairperson, on all pertinent matters to be presented at the next meeting of the county commission.
Okay.
That would be the language with that stricken from the rule.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
I mean, unanimous. Okay. Okay, 16B is clerical.
Did you say aye, Commissioner Slater? Okay.
You thought I was just hoping for unanimity up here? Yeah, okay. 16C is still clerical. 16D. 16D right here. 16D. Following procedure shall be pertinent committee reports. Committee chairperson. There's no change to it. As you see, there should be one. Get committee report. And bring all recommendations voted upon by the committee to the next available committee recommendations. Are we good? Case 16D2, on completion is set. 3 is changing from board to county commission. 4 is same clerical, and taking off the sentence that says minutes shall be taken on the standard form included at the back of the booklet. So we're giving clerical staff to be able to do their own minutes, correct? Any concern? Okay. 16E is clerical there as well. Conflict of interest, it's the law. Open Meetings Act is the law. Nothing changed there. Duties county legislative body is the law. Duties of county legislative body. Wow. Okay. That concludes our review. I think we made some good movement on bringing us up to date. Yes,
Mr.
Ms. Moultrie.
Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
Might you all entertain a motion to accept the changes that were voted on today to be recommended to the full commission.
Motions to be made?
Mr. Chairman, I make a
Go ahead.
motion that we take the updated Bradley County Commission Rules and Procedure to the entire commission for approval.
So move, second? Anyone second? Want a second motion? Or just- Sure, sure. Let's privilege to do that, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Or A.
That's a broad.
Or brush, yeah. Mhm.
Well, the simple answer to that is the chairperson is the person who makes the definition of when that occurs. Now, certainly, you can look at Webster's dictionary as to what boisterous and slanderous means. So there certainly are layman's definitions. There are also some legal definitions of what slanderous is. But the simple answer to your question is it's for the chairman to decide when that rule has been violated. That's correct. Well, I think a commissioner could certainly raise the issue and suggest to the chair that they think this rule has been violated, but it would certainly be up to the chair to make a decision when that has happened.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion on the table. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous. All right. To the ladies at the desk, thank you for the hard work and dedication to this. Ma'am?
Microphone.
What? Can you hold just a second? We'll get. Let's review these ourselves through to the next meeting, and maybe we could have a quick meeting before
Yeah.
our
It's
next.
a procedural
Yeah.
admin thing.
Look at
I
all
don't take
those.
a time, but
Yeah,
Okay.
they're still on the books.
yeah, great point. Got in place. Any other business? Yes, ma'am.
My ignorance, so I apologize, just wanting to understand and get up to speed of how you operate and your proper procedures. I've looked at 2 agendas for February the 10th, and one was pulled up for the meeting. And then we sent a request to get minutes and the agenda for that meeting. And the agendas for February 10th are 2 different agendas. Why would that? We're trying to understand why that would be.
Good.
No.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Ms. Leeson, that was completely a clerical error on my part, and I'll be happy to provide you with documents. Anytime that happens, if you can just let me know.
Okay, so then the latter one that we would have, can you determine which is which for
If you'll
me?
get with me after the meeting,
Okay.
we'll sit down together. How about that?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect.
That completes our agenda. Thanks for, I think the work prior to this paid off. Thanks for doing all that. This is a very important committee. I'm proud to be a part of it with you all. Any other concerns from committee members? Good. Good. It's so moved.